Right, next up, booster engine time. This one was a Gen 2 Hayabusa engine. We had this, we bought a whole bike. Actually, sometimes it's easier to buy the whole bike and strip the engine out and the bits that you want. You can hear it running and make sure it's all good. But we've stripped this out and we've got the ECU, the throttle bodies and a few other little bits. The rest of it has been moved on to someone else. I think it was someone in the team wanted something to do with it. So that's all been moved on and this bit's left. What we're going to do with it? Well, we're going to send it off to the guys at RLM and get this completely redone, rebuilt, nicely fettled, because that's going to be going in a CUP200 car. So what we're doing with that CUP200? Well, we're going to be racing again next year, a works car. So really looking forward to that, getting a works car out again. This year we was off, the previous year we was in. We're going to be back out in the works car with hashtag Rich at RLM88. He's going to be driving a car for us. So looking forward to that, getting this car built, and you can see that being built if you're following the episodes. That'll be built over the next sort of 3 or 4 months. It's got to be ready for 2025 season. That kicks off in April, so we've got to make sure we get that ready by February, March time to do a bit of testing. So nice Gen 2 booster. They make 206 horsepower, and we'll be going as a new thing we're going to be doing with these throttle bodies, partnering with Rich at RLM Racing. They're going to be making an angled adapter for the Gen 2s. Already one is done for the Gen 3s. In fact, show them the Gen 3 one there on Peter Jackson's car there. That shows you what we're going to be doing with that as well, and we're going to be running stock management and doing some mapping and tuning as well on those. So looking forward to getting this little bad boy into one of our awesome CUP200 cars. Right, next up, what we got here is a CUP200 car. It's going to be the works car that's going to run in the championship this year. It's going to be driven by Rich at RLM Racing, hashtag Web88. It is going to be done, so we started to build on this. It's pretty, you've seen it 100 times guys, but if not, we've got slightly different wishbone that we're looking at here, slightly slimmer. We're just having an experiment with that as well. Instead of a 25mm, we've gone for a 19mm tube. We're just changing things from it's a lighter version, but not that much lighter. It doesn't make a huge amount, but from an impact point of view, that it would fold and bend a bit more simple than the chunkier 25mm ones protecting the chassis. So we've sort of done that, and a 12mm rose joint here instead of a 14mm. Rest of the assembly, all the billet upright is all the same. The 2.2 quick rack and all of that, all the front rocker suspension, all the same, but the cup dampers are different. They have a different rod here and different valving. There's a 16mm rod in there and a different valving in them. That's for the championship that we run. And then we've got the pedal box in, we've got the floor pans in, we've got the prop shaft in, which is all here. The reverse motor, which is good actually time to see where putting the reverse motor in, a sprocket here for it, and the reverse motor bolts in here, just to give you an idea. Don't need it for the championship, but this is going to be road legal, this car as well, so obviously you need it for IVA. Prop shaft's all nicely in, and in the back end, again we've gone with a slightly slimmer wishbone, again really for an impact point of view, gone for a 19mm, and then we have, it's not this disc, this is a temporary one we put on, but new ones are going on with the calipers, but gives you an idea of the billet bearing carriage. Is 60mm billet bearing carriage with our bracket that we machine up for a wheel caliper, and this is machined down, or it's not even machined now, these are made productionized to 134mm to fit into the 240mm disc. Brand new drive shafts and a diff completely, it's a 338 ratio diff in there as well. So yeah, looking at, and then it gives you a nice opportunity to see like how we do the camber adjustment on these, toe adjustment on them. Pretty easy really, to be honest with you. Nice and simple to adjust them. Just undo this and you can adjust the toe. So it's pretty easy. Same as up the top here to adjust the camber. Undo the lock nut. You can wind this at the back and it will move it in or move it out, and then you can lock it off so you can do your camber and your toe really quickly and really easy actually. And then it has the little holes in here, so once you set the position you can, if you want to, lock wire it in place. You've got a little hole in there, pull a foot wire through, lock it in around the wishbone so it won't unmove in any way in case this lock nut did try to escape. You can then keep it under control. Then we've got the speedo sensor. We get asked a lot, where do you fit your speedo sensors? we make a little bracket that you have to bend here, but bend here, we fit it on this position, and then we'll have two metal pickup points, or you can use magnets, but metal pickup points on here, and that's where your speedo sensor will then wire in, so nice secure. And then it doesn't matter if you change your gearing ratio. It does matter if you change your tyres. If you change your tyres, the aspect ratio and all of that, then it will affect, and you'd have to recalculate it. But if not, if you're running the 205 and you change the diff to a different ratio, it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference. It's all built on the rotation per mile of this particular tyre circumference. So cracking on with that, but the bodywork's all been trimmed and fitted. So we've got a cup nose here, done all this, so there is some trimming out to do on these. We've done this edge has to be flattened down and trimmed for the fasteners, and then we've got a scuttle just has to be trimmed out here and here in this section, just where it fits. I'll show you where that does now. It's actually a good opportunity to show you. Just a little bit of trimming now, and then that slots on nicely in place like so. So you have your two fixing holes here that hold the scuttle down, and then a trim out for where the dashboard bar mounts in place. That's nice and easy. And then on the rear tub, might as well show you while you're there. We've trimmed these out, ready again. So we'll hook this one on while we're there, and we'll show you. Nice and light anyway. Once it secures in place, just a little bend, that tweaks over, pop it into place, up we go. That's in then basically, and it attaches here. So once this is bonded, once the side panel's on, this just gets bolted up to the rear of it there, and then two little fixing holes just here, which bolt through to the plate that's already welded on the chassis. So for you to change the rear tub, that all lines up there, it is literally 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts either side. That whole rear tub does come off, so if you have an incident or an accident or whatever, you can replace it super quick, super easy. There's no bonding, nothing needed like that. It's all nice and easy to fix. Same as the side panels, they bolt up here. You rivet them on at the front, but you would have to take some rivets out. But that's all trimmed, nice, looking neat and tied in. Bodywork now is so much nicer, so much better, and then we've got the radius here already on for your rear arches, so that's cracking on. CUP200 season, can't wait. Right, hi guys, welcome back to Kit Car Direct and MK Sportscars, and it is CUP200 time. Now, it's been a few weeks actually since we've done a video on this, so quite a bit has moved forward. And we're talking the processes here. Well, this is the face of the CUP200. This was the new nose cone we launched a couple of years ago, pretty much for the race series. It's been very popular with the road cars now as well, because it does give you the extra cooling, ducting, and it looks bloody cool, let's be honest with you. Well, I think so anyway. And yeah, that's really cool. Nose cones on. All below that, which we fitted on, I think we showed before, is the radiator, the 34 row oil cooler. They run on an AN10 fitting on a 180 degrees going out and down and then under into the sump system, which is for the cooling. We've got, these are the billet front uprights all in, all of out. It's got the 2.2 quick rack on this, a heavy duty 2.2. Without extensions on, these are flatted out, so when you get your 19mm spanner fits on there nicely to adjust for the toe and everything else. It's going to be easier. Wing stays on the CUP200 pre-bent, come in, and this is bolted through this row joint here, which bolts through the steering arm. So they're really strong, nice and solid, not going to move, with the calipers on, and the wings here are positioned for IVA specification. It's going to be road legal, this particular car, with a trim around it. So you've got to make sure that from here, from this parallel line, that you're covering 30 degrees on both sides. This, which most wings do, but some people I've seen them where they've tilted them right back and then fouled on the 30-degree angle. Ignoring these are only here for, well, we put them on, it's an IVA basically kit that we've got here that we use. We normally put these in here, little dot indicators, but we're putting this on because it's going to be a race car. Most of the time we're on the race, and if this gets hit, it might destroy it. And we'll put some others in another location there, but that's all that's for with the IVA spec front indicators and side indicators. It's got slightly thinner wishbones on here. This is one we're experimenting with the design here. Experiment is the wrong word, but we've actually lightened it, made it into an M12 top joint, slightly thinner tube. We still think it's going to be as strong with the wall thickness that we've done as well, just to delicate, make it a little bit more delicate. Now in the engine bay, we have the Gen 2 Busa built by RLM. This car is going to be campaigned, get the words out, Sean, campaigned by Richard Webb as our work car. So he rebuilt the engine for us, done a sterling job. He'll kick out the normal 206 horsepower, but it's got the angled adapters on here, the billet angled adapters that now allow us to get the Gen 2 throttle bodies under the bonnet. Now what we have to do is make this bracket. We've had to make this bracket, get rid of the existing one, which I'll show you is over here. I'll bring that over. And this was causing a problem for clearances. So this is what you get on the standard bike setup. As you can see here, the height, this would just about clear the bonnet, but obviously you've got to have a cable go through it. So by the time you had the cable, so we made the new bracket here, which will come assembled, and we'll do that. And what we've done, made this bolt, it actually lines up perfectly for the throttle stop. Perfect. So yeah, if I press this, there's the throttle stop, aligned with the bolt as well. Injectors, so the fuel, these have sort of been upside down now, so the injectors are facing downwards. What we've got here going on now, we're making the new loom, and this is for a stock Busa. Under here you can see a stock Busa management, Gen 2. We're making the new loom for this, a plug-in affair, which will be really nice. And then all of that's gone on then is all the gear linkages has gone in here. It's our pivot system on a bearing, going down to the gear lever, and down in here you've got the prop shaft catcher, mated onto our prop shaft that's here, and then onto our sprocket adapter of our clutch slave. And then this little switch here, you're wondering what that's for. We put that in as a bit of a safety measure really for reverse. So you've got to have the clutch engaged to go into reverse. So it's like acting as your neutral really. So that's all in. All the engine's done with the billet sump and everything else, and you've got your dipstick in here to check your oil level, all of that's in there. And looking rather spiffing. Steering column's all in. This is all the IVA spec and race spec for safety. Steering column. And if you look under here, the wiring, batteries under here, we've got the ECU and a new freewheel gone in, all the fuse box, and then another little feature that we've got on this one, which is...
It must be.
We found it. We found the switch which does it. Oh, let's get all this interior planetary. It's all been fitted up nicely. We have fitted a little electronic handbrake in here, keeping the original cable. So this is our universal cable. This can be used on a Mazda or a CL1. You've got the actuator here, comes up to a control box under here. We've made the mounting bracket, so you will be able to mount this if you're using our normal forward based. We make this bracket that bolts in and do it. In the future we'll make a new bracket for all new stuff, but for existing stuff the bracket will come with it and the mounting bracket here for it all. And then we'll activate this. Handbrake is on. Activate it again, handbrake is off. Really, really simple, and it cleans up the whole interior then. So it gives you the option now of going with the electric handbrake, because guess what? When you're driving, no handbrake lever near your elbow, which is really nice. And also the other thing that happens is you have to make sure that you can put it on but not take it off for IVA when the power is off, when the ignition is off. So that's installed correctly, the correct system doing it for an IVA spec, because it's got to be road legal when we're doing these things, makes life a lot easier. But really cleans it up, nice and neat and tidy, but I will take it off again. There we go, there it's off. Yeah, it cleans it up, the whole front end, and it's just nice. Gives you loads of room and space in here, because it cleans it right up. So all of this interior panel stuff's done, all of the, in fact, this is probably working. Yeah, look, there you go. Got indicators all on the freewheel working. High beam. There we go. Look, flash. All that's working. Horn. Yep, all of that working. All on the freewheel. So that's really done. But you've probably seen body panels have all gone on now. But I dry fitted all of these anyway. So now we've got a scuttle in. All the side panels are bonded on. But we haven't bonded them. We've fixed them with rivets because it's a race car. It might get the odd knock here and there, a little scrape with a tyre. And if you want to replace a panel, if you bond them on, it's a bit of a pain to replace them. So we fix them in a way which puts some very thin foam in there, just to stop the panel vibration. And then fix them on with, like in here, you can just see, got little countersunk rivets in here to clean it up and neaten it up, but they're really easy to replace at a later date. Rear wings have gone on. All of these and the rear tub all gone on. Very easy to fix. Got 2 fixings here to bolt it to the side panel, and then 2 fixings on the rear arches, which is nice and easy. Just see them here, 2 easy, 2 and 2. And then we've actually riv nutted it into the side panel here. Again, it's just going to be easier if we have some impact on there and clean it up. LED lights, all in one. They all look really smart, really like these. IVA compliant, got your reflector, your indicator, you got your reverse light and your tail and your brake light all in one, and those super clean. And again, we normally do our all-in-one fog light and rain light module, which you've seen on other cars, which we've got on, I can't remember what car it is. One of these cars, I think it's on Yoshi's car, isn't it? Yeah, this one here. Come, follow me. So we normally do, guys, this, which has got your LED number plate light and the fog light in there. Now, we're not fitting that on this particular car because it's going to end up being a race car. Most of the time, we have to have the FI rain light, which fits in this position. So we're fitting the number plate light down there in case it gets hit or knocked in racing, and it's easier to replace rather than that on the back panel. So exhaust manifold's gone on this side when Lewis has come down here. We're just modifying that to fit all through the aperture here. Nice clean hole, small amount of trim just to make it IVA spec again because of the sharp edge. Then the silencer. Nice little side till protectors on here, all powder coated black. And we've got to label up the switches on here. It's got the AIM dashboard in there, just some wiring to do on that in that unit. Fuel tank in, and you're probably thinking, well, you can't have that for IVA. You're correct, you can't have a screw cap for it. It's got to be a locking fuel cap. So we'll make the bracketry and everything else and the fuel cap go in there. But everything else is buttoned up. Fuel system, fuel tank, sender, all the speed sensor in here, which is down on the drive shaft here. Little comes off the diff bracket, little speed sensor just in here. Then it's easy to program them, really simple. And all the brakes, it's got the wheel brakes on the back, and we've modified the handbrake, and we have the little top hats. It comes as part of the kit, and we've got it. Once we get it on the ground, we'll prove it. But I know we had a big bar on these wheels trying to turn them with this handbrake, with the electric handbrake, because it can change the amount of force you want to put on it. You can go. It's got 16 different levels of settings on there, so you can go. If it's not quite enough, go up another setting. Keep going and going and going. Or if you go too far, you can always come back. So it's got quite a bit of adjustment on it, which I quite like actually, especially if you. Maybe your brake pads wear and you want a little bit more leverage, you can change it as you go along. So and it's very easy. It's just a little button you press under the little module under there. So it's really, really simple. So yeah, CUP200 really stonkingly coming along quite nicely actually. And black and white, really simple. Don't know what we're going to do graphics wise. We'll probably throw something different when we Lewis at it. Is going, yes, of course we will, Sean. We don't do plain Jane. We don't do plain Jane here at all. Whether it's a stripe graphics, not sure yet. We'll speak to Rich at RLM as well, because they're going to be helping us run this car this season in the CUP200, which leads me on to, if you want to get involved in the CUP200 Championship, whether it's to build a car yourself, buy a car and race it, or hire a car and race it, then hook us up, phone call, email, we can talk you through the championship. There is a car there available. RLM have actually got a car. It's one of the Rich's own car there that he's available for a couple of rounds this season. Hook us up, phone call, email, or contact Rich at RLM Racing, and he can talk you through what it's all about. These cars are epic on track. I mean, what they do is so much fun, and the best thing about it is the people involved in it. Awesome championship, awesome engine, awesome car to go with it. So yeah, I feel exhausted for talking about this, how much we've done in such a short period of time. So that's it for this week, guys. Now, if you want to say, get involved in the CUP200 Championship, hook us up, phone call, email, and we will catch you next time. Where are we with it? Well, we're getting it ready for IVA and all the process. Quite a few things. It's come off the trolley now, on the ground. So I've had it on the ground. We've done a basic G on this, ready for IVA. And all we've done is camber, 1 degree all round, towing out 1 mil on the front, towing in on the rear, 1 mil. And we've set it at a rake that is about 10 millimeters from under the front chassis rail to the rear chassis rail, and that's about it really. A basic rake just to get it through so it drives and nice and self-centering for IVA. When we go on the track, completely different setup, more camber, changing all the rear toes or the rear out toe and may toe out more. So there'll be lots of different changes. So for now, basic geo, 1 degree camber all round, towing out on the front to help self-centering, towing here on the rear, and a little bit of rake of 10mm in the difference from ride heights. That's it. So that's on the ground. Just got in the extra stands because we've been fitting, nose cones all been fitted now, and it's got the little Dezeus fasteners in here, which is nice. So quick release, one either side. Got the brackets, they're available on the website as well. They rivet onto the chassis and then you can do them. And then 2 under here, which go into our nose cone bracket, and it's easy. So 4 little Dezeus fastener, nose cone comes off. Now we have fitted the bonnet and the nose cone, and it's all been dry fitted. We'll show you that when it's finished, but the reason it's off, we're still doing the wiring. We're making a new loom, which you can see here for all of the Gen 2 stock Hayabusa. So normally on a Cup car, we would run a Life ECU, F88 ECU. We've got all the looms made, all that's done. But for now, we're just looking to be able to, from a cost saving point of view, put in the stock ECU. So all this wiring's in here, up to the rectifier. We have had it running and sort of started, we've had spark, we've had the fuel pumps and all that ignite, but we've got a couple of plugs that we're missing, which is for the idle air control valve. So when we plug in a little Hilltech thing to see what's going on, it tells us that we've got a couple of errors on it there. So we just got those ones buttoned up. Then we'll be able to then send this out, get this sorted out, replicate it all, be a plug and play loom. So be able to use it on other models as well, not just the MKs. Got the nice angle adapters on here, which you saw last time. And then right the way through, we've just been going through the IVA presses. Getting into the cockpit, these are really what we're just putting in for IVA because we're not sure what seats we're going to be using for when we're racing. We've got a couple of different options there. We could do a bag seat, we could do our standard seat, we've got a slightly wider seat. So see where Rich feels and how comfortable, because we won't have a passenger seat in there when we're racing. But these are good enough, and these meet the requirements for the height here. For IVA, you have to have a certain size of headrest in there for IVA if it's a fixed seat. Steering wheel's all on, and this in here has the collapsible boss. You have to have a collapsible boss. You can see it just in there. That's on that steering wheel. It's a collapsible boss on that, and this has all got the, we showed you last week, the free wheel. Now in here, got the aim dash and all of the IVA stuff again that you have to have, which is all the symbols. For example, we'll fire it up, hazards, so you can see they're all working. And they have to work with all the ignition, all power off. So yeah, those have gone in for IVA spec, and then same with the wing mirrors, IVA spec, you're making sure that this is a 70mm radius, 7mm distance on the mirror. So it can have an oval mirror, you can have it oval, as long as there's 70mm at one point in the cross section of the surface area. These comply, and a centre mirror that we put in, which we'll keep on for the racing anyway. So that's all good. And then you move them around to the back. Lights and all that we showed before, LED light pack, number plate light, and then we fitted the carbon boot cover, which is all very nice. Nice fit, nice and easy. Then if you're racing, access. Fog light, that's all gone in. Just got to trim this. Again, this is a sharp edge, but the fog light can be anything up to 1 metre high off the ground, the fog light, in this planar field, and it needs to meet the field of vision. Things like this, all the harnesses have gone in, and making sure you cover up all the sharp edges. We do these, what we call witches hats. They cover up quite nicely and match in the carbon as well. And then on the rear end, we put the low support, low impact bars as we call them on here. They're all in, bolted into the chassis and onto the rear. Buttoned up quite nicely. Centre tunnel's gone in, the final fixing, and then all the gear levers all ready. It's all connected up nicely. This is our bearing system one, nice and very, look at how easy, it's just one finger. You can pop this in and out of gear, so easy. Works really well. And then remembering things like your brake bar sticker, your .4 sticker, your low level warning light pots in there as well. And of course, what's not on here is the handbrake. So we fitted the electric handbrake. If you hadn't seen last week, we fitted the electric handbrake on this. So you've got a little button in the middle there that says parking. You just engage, and then boom, she's gonna nicely wrap it out. So yeah, we've got the wheels, tyres, a few other little bits, a bit more wiring to do. That's just pretty much in the next week or so. This should be buttoned up, ready for IVA, and then testing. Bit of a track work, bit of testing, bit of road testing, ready for end of April. We're at Croft for the first meeting in this car. So, but if you want to know more about the Cup Championship, the Cup cars, how we build them, whether it's in kit form or whether it's in a factory build, pick up the phone. Come down and see us at the factory or fire us an email. We'd be happy to support you. Right, next up is the CUP200 here. So all finished, and again, if you'd been at the show, this was on the stand, fetching its, again, it's earned its stripes. Something very, very different. I don't think we've done it ever before. A bit like the blue and the black and the orange. We've now gone with white and gold wheels, gold stripes, CUP200 logos, got the numbers here. We put one number on here. For racing, you will need another one on the sides. And we're running them again. We've put this out to Motorsport Electronics 360 ECU with the new loom. Again, if you've not seen this before, apologies to all of those who watch me weekly. You know the score, you know how it all works, but someone out there probably never seen this before. MK Sportscars, the CUP200, we run in here the Hayabusa engine. So these are produced around 200 odd horsepower. In fact, it's going to the dyno. Rich and his team at RLM, it's going to the dyno in the next week. So we're going to get this dialed in, get all the management working. It's on the angled throttle body adapters. So normally these just mount from here onto there, but then they stick up here and through the bonnet. So Rich and his team and RLM as well, done a great job. We do these with the Gen 2 now, gives them a nice angle. We've got our own filters on here now, all branded up. They look rather smart, so if you're looking for booster stuff and you want the branded filters, they're made for us by a very well-known brand, ITG, a very good filter. And all of that's been done, get it all mapped. It's got GPS on here for the AIM dashboard. That's all in, and down here you can see nicely all the billet pedal box, all the steering column that we do, all collapsible here on the joints, which is nice because you don't normally get to see all of this. And then the Go Race Boss, and up as we go up the column, something that's new actually that we'll feature. So Mike does the freewheel stuff for us. I'll turn the lights out. We've now installed here, because at night time you won't be able to see these buttons very well, now come with the illumination. So if we press that, you can see the blue light here lit up, the yellow, the red and the green, so they'll light up at night time for you. You probably just about catch that, Lewis, can't you, on them. Obviously if it's dark it's going to be a lot more visual in what it does, but we'll power that up actually. And there's your flashlight, your indicators all flashing on there as well, so that's pretty cool. And of course it's all wireless, so but it's a nice little feature, and we showed that for the first time at the show. Great bit of kit, works really well. And the other thing that's on here that's you've noticed, I'll turn the lights on, is, and I know you probably watched this quite a few times, but we bang on about it, but it's the electronic handbrake. So there it goes, that's on, you know, moving that car, and that's on wheelwood calipers. So the wheelwood 4 pots on the rear, and then we remove it. Nope, IVA spec, you have to turn the power on again to do it, which is IVA spec. So everything in this car, this is just past IVA in the last week or so, so it's completely done. All checked the handbrake efficiency, all emissions, everything else is done. We're just doing the final dyno for its power runs. Make it all nice, and they're so light. This is like 480 kilos. I mean, literally, look. I mean, you're moving a car. It's so light. It's bonkers. But yeah, stripe pack, I think we're very happy with that. It looks really, really strong. Actually, we did something else as well. We made these little lights in here. I'll put them on. So you've got a side light with an LED side light instead of a standard H button. They're much, much brighter, you can see. But also in there, we have put an indicator as well. And yeah, just something more for show stuff than anything else. We'll bolt these, bolt off and bolt on. So generally this is going to live on the racetrack most of the time. They won't even have the headlights and all that on it anyway. So, but these bolt off, which we will bolt off, and it's just one bolt, one plug, out she goes. CUP200 car. This has been on the dyno. Have we got that out yet? We've been doing this with the angled throttle bodies, and it's got, oh, let's do the bonnet on this one. We've been working a couple of different ideas on this with managements. Now we have the Motorsport Electronics ECU. We've wired that in and done the dyno on that, and it all works. It's got the Gen 2 angled adapters, and now we're changing the throttle body position to a different way. Got the stock management on it with a new luminate. Now look, ignore that wiring there, it's a bit untidy. It's because we're doing some mock-up stuff on it as well. We've got to do the final bit of wiring there. And then it's been on a dyno, we'll do a video on that. Dyno made the 206, 175 of the wheels, 205 horsepower roughly. So it's all good. We've just got to do one more session with it to just dial in the basics of it, and then that's ready for production now. The looms will be ready, going for stock management, angled throttle bodies, everything else is stock. You'll be able to plug and play that in, and that'd be awesome. And of course they fit under the bonnet, which is even better. Gen 2 throttle bodies, stock, under our flat bonnet with RLM's adapters that we work with. Come on Sean, sort yourself out mate. Bingo, how good's that? Looks great, gold, white, tick the box again. Love that car.